All right, future instrument-rated pilots, welcome. Today, we are going to tackle one of the most important parts of your training, the Human Performance and Limitations exam. And trust me, this isn't about memorizing regulations. It's about mastering the most complex and, honestly, the most critical piece of equipment in any aircraft.
So let me ask you a question. Just think about it for a second. With all the amazing tech we have now, glass cockpits, incredible avionics, backups for your backups, what is the one instrument that is absolutely 100% critical for a safe flight? I'll give you a hint. It doesn't have a screen and it's not the GPS.
You guessed it. It's you, your mind. It is the ultimate flight computer, right? It's what makes the tough calls, manages stress, and keeps you aware of everything that's going on. And that is exactly what the Human Performance exam is all about, testing your understanding of this amazing instrument and, its limitations. So here's our flight plan for today. First, we'll talk about what you absolutely have to know. Then we'll look inside the exam itself. After that, we're going to try a little quiz, and finally, I'll show you a fantastic way to get prepared. Okay, first things first. Why does this exam even matter so much? This is so much more than just another box to check. Understanding how your own body and mind work under pressure is, no joke, the bedrock of aviation safety. Look, at the end of the day, this whole exam is designed to make sure you can handle the real-world stuff. We're talking about managing the effects of altitude on your body, dealing with fatigue on a long flight, making good decisions when things get stressful, and just keeping your head in the game when something unexpected pops up. This is the real science behind being a safe pilot.
So we get why it's important, but what can you actually expect on test day? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the nuts and bolts of the exam itself.
Man, this exam covers a lot of ground, but it all comes back to the human in the cockpit. You'll see questions on mental stuff, like your decision-making process. Then there's the physical side of things, hypoxia, fatigue, disorientation. It also dives deep into aviation psychology and even gets into crew resource management, which is really just a fancy way of saying how well you work with others. The format itself, it's super straightforward. You're looking at 45 multiple-choice questions, and they give you 90 minutes to do it. If you do the math, that's 2 minutes per question, which is actually a pretty generous amount of time to think things through. And here is the magic number you need to keep in your head, 72%. That's the passing score. So out of those 45 questions, you need to get at least 33 of them right. Quick tip, there's no penalty for a wrong answer, so make sure you answer every single question. Don't leave anything blank. All right, enough with the theory. The best way to really get a feel for this exam is to, try some questions. I've pulled 3 sample questions from a practice simulator. So what do you say? Let's see how you do. Okay, question number 1. This is all about those psychological factors we mentioned. Which of these things would cause the absolute most stress in your home life? This is a perfect example of how the exam connects what's happening on the ground to your actual fitness to fly that day. And the correct answer is D. This question is so important because it highlights that real-world connection. As a pilot, you have to have the self-awareness to know when stress from your personal life could make you a danger in the cockpit. Let's try another one, this time about physiology. Okay, picture this. You're climbing, the air's getting thinner, there's less oxygen. What's the very first function in your body to take a hit? This is absolutely critical stuff, especially for those of you who fly at night or at higher altitudes.
And the answer is D, night vision sensitivity. This is a perfect example of a safety-critical fact you just have to know cold. A very subtle lack of oxygen can seriously mess with your ability to see at night, long before you'd ever feel any of the other more obvious symptoms of hypoxia.
All right, for our last question, let's get a little more technical with something called the Threat and Error Management Model, or TEM. In this safety model, things like your ground proximity warning system, the pull-up voice, and your standard operating procedures, or SOPs, what kind of countermeasures are they considered? The correct answer here is D, hard-based countermeasures. This question shows you that the exam expects you to know about the safety models that are basically the foundation of modern aviation. It's all about understanding how systems and procedures are built to catch our mistakes before they become a real problem. So, how'd you do? Whether you aced all 3 or found them a bit tricky, it proves one thing: preparation is everything. So for our final section, let's talk about how you can walk into this exam with the confidence you need to pass. For really effective prep, I always recommend using a tool that actually feels like the real exam. Easy-Quizzz.com is exactly that. It's an online simulator and a mobile app built specifically for these aviation exams. It's designed to get you comfortable with the content and the format before you ever set foot in the testing center.
And getting started couldn't be easier. Seriously, you just go to the website, find the CBIR Human Performance and Limitations exam, and bam, you're off to the races. The whole process is incredibly simple. The platform has some amazing features. The exam mode is a dead ringer for the real test, timer and all. But my personal favorite is the learning mode. It gives you instant feedback and detailed explanations for every single answer. That way, you learn why an answer is correct. Plus, the mobile app lets you study anywhere, even if you're offline.
And we're not just talking about a few dozen questions. The database is huge, with over 700 questions broken down by topic. You can see there's a huge emphasis on aviation physiology, which, let's be honest, is an area where a lot of us can get tripped up. This means you can really focus your study time on the areas where you need it most.
So remember, mastering the pilot's mind isn't just about memorizing facts. It's about a deep, real understanding of how you operate. When you have the right knowledge and the right tools to prepare, you can walk into that exam feeling totally confident. So the only question left is, are you ready to take control of your prep?